Guys, how's it going? So, I am playing very late on a Wednesday evening. I've just come back from like a client drinks. So I've had a few beers, but nothing too much. I've literally pulled up 3 tables. I've got 150 and 2 25s. This 25 is not actually that good. Jesus, this guy check folds a ton. So this might be just an exploitative call, and then he doesn't see bet very often at all. I'm going to 3-bet out of position against this guy. He folds quite a lot. So he does bet. I have a top pair plus flush draw. I'm not actually so keen about this flush draw coming in because I think that's the kind of thing they would bet. I'm going to put 2.5 on the cutoff here. Just fold my ace-3 off. Probably check back this turn. And then I'm going to pretty much call any bet that they make. I think now. I don't think they have a value hand. Now I'm going to bet for value, but probably bet like small. Try and get a crying call from a weaker jack or something. Had me slightly outkicked. 4. I'm going to actually see bet on this board. This guy folds a ton. So let's just quickly check. I think that hand was fine. The call could have been very loose, but this guy is just he just folds a ton. It's only 900 hands, but it's kind of indicative of how this guy will play. He's also folding a shitload to C bets and big blind, small blind. So this is essentially, I'm going to just label them up. He's a weak reg. They're pretty common. Like this guy's a weak red as well. Look at that, folding a lot. Just, you know, check folding a ton, if you can see that. Out of position. So just bad players. I've decided to let ace X out of my under the gun range. It's going to open a ton on this table. Planning to see bet a lot of boards, and so the sort of nitty player. I think, do you know what? I'm just going to let this go. I can't take much heat on that pair, and someone could already have me beaten, overcards, etc. This is a player that I'm not going to just quickly double check. Small blind I can bet polar because he folds 60, but the rest of the time he calls. But they have limped into me, which is interesting. So I'm not going to let him do that and raise a dollar. Yeah, so this guy sucks. So even though these guys are regs, they just suck. They're bad regs. So we're going to try and exploit these guys. This is something I'm trying to do in my game a lot now, is just exploit the regs, because the fish are less frequent. Especially at 50 and L, which I've started taking shots at. 7 deuce, I'm actually going to fold. Am I going to fold? This guy, he's quite aggro, 35-27, so these are possible he could squeeze or raise up, so I'm just going to fold that. It's a super weak hand. Would have flopped a flush draw, but I still think that's a good, reasonable fold, considering who I've got. So let me just label these people up. He's a semi-ag fish. So he's not a nit, he's just a reg type blinds. Fold 3-4 off. I'm not going to deal with that. Again, this is a bad reg. They are. So if they fold a lot in the blinds, they're just a tight reg in the blinds, but they fold to C-bets 54, so they get turned into a weak reg. Again, this guy is a weak reg as well. So we've got fish and weak regs in all positions apart from table 3, which this guy could possibly be a sort of looser tag. I'm trying to work out if I should open 9-8. I possibly can. I'm trying to open my cutoff a lot more. This would be in one of my filters to open. my 30% range. Having the fish does it makes things easier and harder because they will call. Again, this guy looks pretty, so I'm actually going to fold. So this may be a place where I have to open lighter. It's difficult. The cutoff is very hard to open quite wide, especially in today's games. Like, say for example, I think I can open the cutoff very wide in this table, and this table I'm not so sure because this is a heavy 3-better, but I think this table I can open up quite wide, table 2. Again, with the fish here, I can open it wide with a reasonable hand and actually probably dominate a reasonable amount of their range. I would have had a straight, but probably counted. So I'm actually going to upgrade you to a reg type blind. This player here in the small blind is probably the best player that we have so far. So he's going to get the reg aggressive tag. C-bets quite a lot. Doesn't fold very often. Goes to showdown a reasonable amount of time. Doesn't fold his big blind, which is kind of like one of the big key things I look for a decent reg. He does, I don't know actually. So I get 3-bet by this dude. I'm just going to check his, so he's in the big blind versus cutoff. So big blind versus cutoff is 7% and they fold to 61. That sizing is huge though, it's just insane. So I can't really make a, oh hang on, this is a 60 table. I still think that's pretty big. Like you can get away with like a 4 position raise there if you're going polar. If you just look at, that's a 94k, which is a lot of hands, I know. But bring it over here. Big blind versus cutoffs folds 61%, which is huge. I've got a fish that's called, they don't fold the C-bets, 31-40, so I'm just going to try and check this down. Try and, flop a set. So I'm just going to bet relatively small because I've checked twice. Try and get a small amount of action. They're really short stacked actually, I didn't notice that. That's actually probably a bad open if they're that short stacked. Ace Queen, I'm going to squeeze. Am I going to squeeze or let this dude in? I think squeezing is probably best because I'm in a small blind. What's pot? Pot is 3, so I think probably just $3. Again, raise this limping guy. Fish is called. This is a Uber Fish 90-30. It's actually good if this guy folds. I stand to be ahead of this guy's range a ton. I'm going to fold pocket 3s in the small blind versus this dude here. In the big blind, I probably will call. So the guy has called. Just trying to work out if I've got a profitable C-bet. I do have a gut shot with some overs. I could probably just do like a half pot. Just quickly bring this down to like 4. I have a gut shot. He calls instantly. But again, it doesn't mean there's a king or a 10. So I think I might check call turn. That's interesting, he checks back. I might check again. There's all sorts of missed straight combos. Yeah, and he has a 5, interesting, okay. Nine jack I'm gonna fold even though it's close. So this guy's a superstation and we just need to value town him now. With that read we only have 11 hands. Good to have though in the game, definitely. $10-4 versus these two players is a steal because they're 67 and 71 in their respective blinds, 75 and 71. So these are just like water profit steals. This guy also folds 54, so I think we can open, or more or less, not any two, because we don't want to be unbalanced, but I'm going to open pocket fives. We want to be deep. Sorry, we want to have, and again, I think 2.5, so I'm going to check call. That's a good card for our range. I'm just trying to work if I should now bet for protection. Could get called by an ace. This is the second time this guy has interesting. So, and he's done the same amount. I actually do have a hand now that I can 4-bet bluff. We fold 61%, so we could go right up to 10, 11 here, and he folds. So this is like we're playing EV here, long-term EV with that hand. I think I would like before pocket sevens, and I hate calling out because I just hate calling with small pocket pairs. I think my sort of cut-off point is 8s. I'm not so good at playing them, to be honest. That's one of my weaknesses. But so this is interesting. We get button open 15%, but he does fold 11%. So what's that? It's like, so he's essentially folding. Right. So I think we can possibly, and he's for. Actually, you know what I'm going to call. I'm going to check call this flop. So he bets a ton, and he check folds turn. Doesn't check fold, but he gives up on turn. So we can make a exploitative fold. So he checks back. So now is the question: does he bluff river with like queen? No, what does he have? Queens or jacks? Highly unlikely for card distribution. So essentially, he is repping queens, jacks, and I'm just going to check his aggression for river. 29, which is reasonable. I think we can call. He's repping queens, jacks. That's it really. So I can call, and he's bluffing with ace 3, so reasonable call. And it's better than trying to bet, because we keep his bluffing range in. 6-8 fold. Ace 8 here is definitely a steal and a 3-bet versus this guy if he opens. I do expect a light 3-bet from him at some points. Just trying to work out if I can call 6-9 suited. Just checking this guy's cutoff. It's linear, so that's a fold. King 5, I'm definitely going to steal, because these guys just fold far too much. Jacks versus 5s. That's interesting. That's is it a bit skewy? Jack 2, I'm going to fold just for the sake of long-term EV. It's probably a possible open. These guys fold a ton. This is actually great for opening the cutoff. Let's quickly replay this hand. So 5-bet his fucking. That's an idiotic play. So he 5-bet his folding ace 5. His pocket 5s. The guy chucked it in. He calls off with 5s. That's a terrible play. He should flat there. So this guy is more of a semi-aggressive fish. This guy calls. I'm gonna check with my ace 3. Doesn't fold. 91 hands. He doesn't fold much to c-bets. It's close because he does. But I think I can call 1. Possible give up. Interesting turn. on Jack. And he just shoves. I think I'm going to let it go. It's close. Possibly shouldn't be opening hands like this, thinking about it, since he's got such a small stack. Twice I've done that now. So yeah, they're better versus his range. So maybe it is plus EV. He's just very difficult to play. Deck 7's a fold. Just double check this, guys. So I did say it's polar for his small blind opens. 5-3 I think is enough of a flat though. And like I said, with his barreling, he doesn't c-bet. He check folds a ton, so he's unbalanced. So I would stab with this if he checks to me. He's opening 50% of his small blind as well. Check this guy, see if he's so A6 is in my 3-bet range versus these guys, and I will stab with 5-3 off. I do have a backdoor. He's called, which is interesting. So on this board versus this player type, I will now triple. Because I don't think, unless he's slow playing Ace X, but I think maybe even I can get him off Ace X by the end of the river, to the river. So he's called. Again, I think I can. He folds a ton, 54%, which is quite high. So I can make it like a 365 bet into this. Fold this, fold this. His range is stronger, but again, I can triple on this board against him because he's capped. King 6 is a fold. King 6 suited, I'd be ISOing him. What happened here? I swear I checked. Oh, I'm in the big blind. I'm just going to check this. I don't see much value. I've got a gut shot. He goes to showdown such amount of times. I just think it's just a check fold. He's more of a 2-4. I'm going to steal any 2 against these guys. I flop a pair, which I'm now going to bet for protection. Pocket 3s I will steal. I'm considering starting to open 2.5x in MP recently. I've seen a few of the higher stakes players do it. So I guess it has some merit to just stealing wide. This might be a mistake. I actually didn't notice his stack size. He's got a smaller stack. It does fold a ton to c-bets, and it helps if you flop a straight. So I actually think I can check this because he bets a lot, 53%. He'll start barreling. So I'm going to check call. I think he's the kind of person who will actually barrel a lot. That may make him check that card. Yeah. Ace 10. Yeah, I did think about check raising turn, which probably I should have done. I was fucking holding man just crashing again because it's shit. It does this every now and again. But I do leave it open for days. Task manager. Sometimes it just kicks back in. But we'll have to crash it out. Jacket, I'm going to fold because there's a fish here. I'm going to boot holder manager back up. How long are we going for? Exactly 20 minutes. Do you know what? 20 minutes is fine. I think there's some good spots there. It's enough for everybody to watch. So I'm going to leave it there. Alright, nice one guys. Thank you.